Perfect. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining. It's wonderful to be here. My name is Linda, and welcome to this free live workshop. And I will be teaching you how to reclaim your authentic identity so that you can go from being an insecure hot mess to a self-confident Barbie. Yeah, so I'm super excited. And if you're excited as well, please drop emojis on the chat box. Feel free, and just know that this is such a safe space. It's a loving space, and I'm super grateful to have you ladies here today. So, who is this training for? It's for really any lady who, wants to elevate herself, for anyone who has that growth mindset. And this is something that is so personal for me, because I know being on this personal growth journey, the whole level up journey, it's something that nobody can do it for you. And it truly requires you to be mentally ready, to be mentally prepared for you to go to the next level of yourself. It's also for any woman who desires to be in her femininity. And femininity, like I say, it's a lifestyle that's a choice. It's a lifestyle choice. There are so many options out there. You can be feminine, a feminist. There are so many lifestyle choices. But I always say, if you want to be in your femininity, it's something that you must desire deeply in your heart for you to embark on, being a true and authentic woman. It's also for women who are positive and warm and loving and just have that, lovely energy. Because you can imagine if you're negative or toxic, automatically it just brings everything down, the whole vibe down. It's also for any woman who's committed to loving herself. Yeah, because remember, self-love is everything. And I always say, if any woman who takes time to work on herself, it shows that she truly does love herself. It's also for any woman who's looking to level up her life experiences, just who she is. And she's also at the point where she's looking for somebody to help her walk with her throughout the journey of being a woman. Yeah. So if you feel you fall within any of this category, feel free to drop a comment and just say, yes, Linda, I'm ready. Yeah. So my promise to you is I'll be as authentic and share as much value as I possibly can. And I will teach you what I've learned from my own growth journey. And let's have fun, yeah? Let's just have fun exploring, sharing, talking. And what I'll do is at the very end, we will do a small Q&A session. Feel free to ask me anything, because remember, we are a community here. Whatever questions you may have, drop them in the chat and I'll be able to answer them as at the end of the live. So my request to you ladies is, within the next 90 minutes, this is time for you. Turn off your cell phones. Oh, let me turn off mine, yeah? Turn off your cell phones or put them on silent so that you don't get interrupted. If you have kids, put them to bed. If you have bring your pen and paper, bring a drink. If it's hot chocolate, wine, whatever it is you want, just get comfortable, because this is time for you, yeah? And stay until the very end. I'll be making some really exciting announcements to you ladies. Yeah. So there are 5 things that you'll specifically learn today. And let me just move this. And the first thing is why you actually need self-confidence. And this is something that I'm truly passionate about. And as we go along, you will see why I really feel so passionately around this topic. Yeah. I'll also be talking you through the deadly mistakes you're making when it comes to your self-image. Because remember, at the end of the day, we are women and we need to look, it's really important to work on our image as a woman. It's something that we cannot ignore. Yeah. I'll also teach you why being a feminine woman is an absolute must. It's something that's really, really important, especially for you who's decided to lead a feminine lifestyle. Guys, what's happening here? Okay. And then I'll also teach you how to start to cultivate your personal magnetism, and then how to truly love yourself as a woman. Yeah. So feel free to take pictures, take screenshots, and share on social media. Tag me at Afrofeminine Muse and spread the word around, yeah? So a bit about me. Who exactly is Afrofeminine Muse? So my name is Linda, and I am a wife. I've been a wife for 10 years now. I have a son. And throughout my whole entire life, I've struggled with my weight. I've struggled with, and it was only until later on I came to realize that my whole weight was as a result of deeper emotional issues. I really struggle with self-esteem. You can see me here. That's the arrow pointing at me. This was taken 3 years ago, and I was actually close to 100 kilos, trust me. So I was not always this confident. That was me smiling. I had a high-flying career, good marriage, but the one thing that I always struggled with was just really, truly believing in myself. Everybody around me could see my greatness, but I just never could see my greatness. After the birth of my son, I had a near-death life experience. And this completely changed my life. I gave birth to my son and I got a really sick, and I actually almost died. And since that point in time, I was just never the same. Thankfully, I recovered. I went back to work, but something deep down kept telling me that, Linda, there is something more. I was just never the same. Right after that incident, I felt so stuck because life lost meaning. If anybody has had a near-death life experience, you start to look at life differently, especially you come out of it. I was deeply frustrated. Yes, on the outward, I had everything that I needed, great career, a global job, a family, but deep down, I truly felt that, no, there has to be more to, about life. And that's when I went back to work for, I think, a year and a half. And then I just decided, you know what, let me take a sabbatical. And I used that time to rediscover myself. I think what at that point really kept frustrating me was deep down, I was held back by fear. There was this fear that I kept having, that I cannot have it all as a woman. And if you can resonate with the fact that, they always say for you to be a good wife, you need to be in a particular way. You should not be too successful. You should be this way and that way. And I was feeling completely limited with my whole entire life. And that's when I just started actually Googling just to try and find out, is there any community for wives or for career women? And also at that point in my marriage, I was really, really struggling because I was what you'd call an independent woman. Yeah, so very too much in my masculine because of being in my job. I really didn't know how to balance the whole femininity and masculinity thing. So after I took my sabbatical, I started searching. And that's when I discovered, oh my God, Linda, you're feeling so frustrated because you're off your feminine energy. And I realized I started working with coaches, with mentors. I work with them until now. This is almost my 4th year. And that's when I decided, oh my God, you know what, whatever I'm learning, whatever I'm getting all this knowledge, let me start a community. Let me share all the wisdom that I'm getting from my coaches and mentors, because if it can help somebody, it could change somebody's life, it could change somebody's perspective, because really at the end of the day, I really felt a strong desire to just share whatever I'm learning. Now, this is now what happened. I chose me. I chose to reinvent me. These are pictures I took when this was like a month ago. Yeah, the first one, I'd gone on holiday. I do solo trips also nowadays, because as a woman, self-care is really, really important. I take time for myself away from my family just to rediscover and regroup and recharge. So I'd gone on a holiday, and this was me at the wedding. So clearly you can see the before and after, you know, before where I was now, and where I am now. And that's why I'm really, really passionate about you know, talking to women, especially ambitious women, because I know I am one. I'm a career woman. I'm a very driven woman. And I'm so passionate about speaking with ambitious women to help them reclaim their sense of self-worth, so they can unapologetically love themselves. Because I came to realize that your career, your degree, your marriage cannot give you a sense of purpose. It has to come from you. And for me, what completely changed my life is understanding what exactly is femininity and what does that mean for me as a woman. It completely changed my life. Yeah. So, are we stuck here? Now, when it comes to self-confidence, ladies, one thing I have learned is there are 3 big mistakes that you are making when it comes to self-confidence. First of all is a lack of self-awareness. If you don't know who you are at your core, and it's not something that you just wake up and you decide, oh my God, I'm self-aware. No, it's a journey. It's a journey that you have to take to be able to understand who exactly you are. And for me, each and every day, as I continue to grow, it's really funny, because I'm actually doing my end year reflections, and I was thinking, oh my God, 3 years ago, I was completely in the victim mindset. Of course, it's something I struggle till now. And a victim mindset is where you're constantly blaming other people, constantly, if anything happens wrong to you, you're pointing fingers. If you hate your job, you're blaming your boss. If you're in a bad relationship, it's because of your boyfriend. If your sister is mean to you, it's because of your sister. So you're always blaming other people, forgetting that you are also part of the equation. And that's the kind of mindset that keeps so many women stuck at the point where you completely lack awareness of yourself. Because remember, when you're pointing at someone else, you're not looking at you, and yet you're part of the equation. The second big mistake I see when it comes to not cultivating self-confidence is around not understanding what exactly it means to be a woman. You see, one thing I've learned is we are all born females. Yeah, we are all born females. By being a female, it means your biology shows that you are a woman. You are of the female gender. But to become a woman, you need to go through a series of steps. You need to learn. You need to cultivate yourself. You need to understand what exactly it means to be a woman, more so what it means to, you know, combine your feminine and masculine energies. Because remember, as women, we do also have masculine energies. And that's the energy that, you know, keeps you, you know, focused on whether it's your business or your career or your studies. That masculine energy is what makes you become successful. So if you don't cultivate your womanhood, it's really at a point where you just assume because you're born a female, you're a woman. No, the same way a doctor has to go through school to earn the right to call themselves a doctor, or the same way a lawyer has to go, through law school or whatever to earn the right to call themselves a lawyer, or any practitioner. It's the same way you have to learn what exactly it means to be a woman and how does it feel authentic to you. And I remember when I was getting married, there are all these bridal parties and all these bridal showers. And yes, I've been through them. I think I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. But you see, at that point when you're getting married, your mindset at that particular point, I don't know, it's really you're overexcited about just jumping the broom, so to speak. And we take it like a one-off lesson. So this singer came, taught ABCD, and then she left. Some of them, we look at them like they're jokes. But at the end of the day, I sat back and I realized, of course, some of the stuff they talk in there, honestly, I don't I don't subscribe to that. I strongly feel that it's so important to try and learn what exactly womanhood is. Because truly, the way we are going, the way relationships are going, the divorce rates, and you can just see it's as a result of men not understanding what it means to be a man, and also us as women not really understanding what it means to be a woman. Then the third thing that I see is a big mistake that can truly impact your self-confidence is not trying to evolve. So look at it this way. When you're born, remember when you were a little girl, at the age of like 5, 6, you can observe any girl who's around that age. She's wearing all these big shades, all these sparkles. She has all these big, big, big dreams. At what point do we start settling? Till the point where you're told, oh, you're being too aggressive. Oh, you're too ambitious. Oh, your dreams are too bold. Oh, your business will never work. Evolution is constant. And it's so interesting. I got to learn this like 2, 3, I think like maybe 2 years ago. It just never clicked in my mind that we are put here on earth to expand. It's a natural process of life. So if you continue staying stuck, it's like saying you'll wear a size 3 shoe and your foot is growing. You have to grow in line with the size of the shoe. Yeah. So when you stay stuck, of course, it's comfortable, it's familiar, and somehow you start to dim your own light. And once you start to dim your light, insecurity checks in. You feel like, oh my God, I'm complacent. You're not evolving, you're not growing. I mean, it's like having a job and just never adding any particular certification on top of it. It doesn't make sense. So staying stuck is something that will really have a negative impact on your self-confidence. So ladies, please, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box. Drop an emoji and let me see if you're still with me. Oh yeah, Bianca, yes, you're ready to level up. That's amazing. Yes, Winnie, yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. So let's go deeper into what does it mean when I say a lack of self-awareness. Self-awareness means you have no clue about who you are, what you want, and why. Why is this important? You need to understand who you are so that you can even know what you want, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your insecurities are, What are your childhood wounds? What are your triggers? So that you can at least be able to know if any situation is triggering you, you're able to connect with, okay, I'm feeling this way because, in my childhood, I had to go through abandonment issues, or I had to have certain issues, or you become aware, you're simply aware about who you are so that you can be able to understand what you want and why. And more, I'm feeling like self-awareness, it's something that needs to be cultivated quite early. And I was having an interesting conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about this whole thing of maybe it's not too bad to wait until you're a bit more mature before you commit to, getting married. Or if you're doing it at an early age, you need to at least be looking for this information on your own so that you don't end up partnering with someone who's, completely the opposite of you, so to speak. Because one thing I've come to see is, especially with the whole level up journey, you start to grow, you start to realize, oh my God, so I like different things maybe, or I like this kind of environment. You start to change because remember, we are expanding. So what happens to the old friends you had? What happens to the relationships you had? Maybe you grew up being told that you will never be great. Maybe you grew up knowing that, oh my God, men don't like dark-skinned women. Because like, for instance, for me, I really had also body image issues, yeah? Back then, I think it was considered only the only beautiful girls were light skin with long hair and slim. So for me, I really had a lot of body confidence issues. I remember even at some point in high school because I loved bright colors. I just loved bright colors. And I remember wearing this bright pink sweater. And somebody was like, you're too dark for that sweater. I'm telling you, ladies, that comment from, I think high school is how, no, it was late primary school. I never wore pink for like maybe 15 years just because of that negative comment. I remember in uni, the way you're with friends and you're trying to go out. And I remember I was like, I've always taken long showers. I don't know how to shower quickly. That's a weakness. So we had talked, they're like, oh, let's meet in 15 minutes, we go out. I'm like, guys, I need like 30 minutes just to freshen up. This babe told me, you think if you shower longer, you'll be lighter. And these are true stories. And you see such comments, you don't realize how the negative impact on you later on. And it's at a point where you have to sit back and you realize, oh my God, no. You start to do some inner work. You start to go deep and understand what are some of the issues that truly impact you. Because for instance, picture it that way. You're always being told you don't look beautiful, you're not beautiful, you're not beautiful. Definitely when you get into a relationship, you will feel like, oh my God, this guy chose me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You put him on a pedestal. The moment you put him on a pedestal, obviously he will know this one. She's so insecure. I can do with her whatever I want. That's how toxic relationships start. Because you yourself did not even take time to understand where your weaknesses are. You don't even know, oh my God, when it comes to weight, I have an issue with weight. And it's not enough to know that you have an issue with weight. The thing is, what are you doing about that weight? Because at the end of the day, you can't just go and do all this inner work. No, oh my God, maybe I had a traumatic childhood experience and this is what happened. And then, so yes, it's really painful and I completely empathize. But then again, once you become aware and you understand where your trigger points are, then honestly, you owe it to yourself to start to do the next action step. The next action step to to do something about it. Yes, Nakazi, I can see your comment. Childhood traumas are really a big deal. I didn't realize that because my mother was an emotional available with me. I ended up to, yes, honestly, and for me, I'm a big advocate of therapy. Therapy, I'm really liking the way more and more people are coming out to speak about mental health, emotional health. I'm such a big advocate of therapy. Whatever makes sense for you, honestly, you owe it to yourself. If it's possible, please go and talk about those issues and find a way of resolving some of these traumas that we have, because truly they are a big deal. Yeah, thank you, Nakazi, for opening up. Okay, so why are many women not self-aware? I think it's because we are somehow conditioned to live life in a certain way. So I'm sure who has had this whole good girl syndrome thing? Who has had this whole good girl? I honestly, it drives me wild. And it's something we are conditioned at such an early age to be agreeable, to be the good girl, to play by the rules of society. Oh my God, that thing drives me completely wild. And it's something that is ingrained in us as girls at such an early age, where you're told, shh, sit nicely, look a certain way, don't talk too much, don't talk back. And you see, the programming starts at such an early age, from our parents, from our school, from our society, and you find yourself, you're not even, and you see, I've seen it manifesting in two ways. One way, for this whole societal conditioning, you end up becoming either a chronic people pleaser. Everything is yes, 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 you can't even speak for yourself. Or the other side of it, you end up becoming totally rebellious to the extent no one can tell you anything. So you're either people pleasing or extremely defiant. And both of those ways of reacting are not healthy. Because remember, at the end of the day, we are looking for us as women to be healthy, to be confident in our own authentic way. So if you're not self-aware, that's what happens. You end up just developing some really unhealthy personalities, which at the end of the day has its own impact. Okay. So when you lack self-awareness, what you don't realize is you end up settling for less. You end up settling for less, be it in life, be it in love. Because remember, you've been told that you be a good girl, keep quiet, accept whatever you're given. And so you end up, just taking anything that's handed over to you. A guy proposing to you becomes such a big deal. You looking for a job and getting, accepted, it's such a big thing. So small things become, oh my God, I'm so lucky, I'm so blessed. Meanwhile, what you don't realize is that it is your birthright to live life the way you want to live it, and dream big and go bold and do whatever it is you want to do. Another big thing I see when it comes to lack of self-awareness, you end up having really weak boundaries, super weak boundaries, especially when it comes to your friends, people, family, because you're not aware. So you're used to just, making everybody else happy. Or if you're on the defiant side, you close everybody off, such that you're not even able to let people in and receive. And then the other thing is you can easily get depressed because you're not living life in your true authentic self. Deep down, you know you want this big kind of life, but you're here because you're being told you should be grateful for the little that you have. Yeah. So once you become self-aware, honestly, for you, you're like, the sky is the limit. You truly become so bold and you don't really care about what many people will say. It's not an easy thing, but it's truly, truly liberating. You become bolder. And I know this because I get comments all the time. In fact, the other day, there's a friend of mine who's like, Linda, is that you? So at times I'm like, because I was like, okay, what do you mean, is that you? She's like, oh, you've changed so much. What's going on? The other day, a friend of mine is asking me, Linda, are you still married? So I'm like, what does me living my life have to do with whether I'm married or not? And you see, that's just a way of people pulling you back down so that you're at the level where they can relate to you. Once you become self-aware, you start to reach out for the stars. Okay. So let's see. We're expected to be perfection. That is true. I was totally rebellious in high school now because, yeah, honestly, I can completely understand this whole fight between, and I think, Nakazi, what's happening here, you're struggling between the two. Let me not read these comments. I will actually go through them at the end. You're struggling between the two sides. You're trying to find your space. So you're swinging from, one extreme side where you're being extremely rebellious now to becoming a people pleaser. And this just means you're now settling. You need to find your authentic space and your authentic self. Winnie says, boundaries are a real struggle for me. Okay, yeah, I can understand this. Winnie, you could share a bit more what you mean, like boundaries are a real struggle. With which kind of people? Is it with friends? Is it with family? What is it about boundaries that makes it so hard for you to set? Is it that you struggle with setting them? Or is it that once you set them, you struggle with upholding them? Because like even today, I was having a very interesting back and forth with my 7-year-old son. He's supposed to finish his homework, then he earns playtime. So of course, he's not finished his homework. I set the boundary that, okay, you have to finish your homework, then you earn this playtime. So I set the boundary. And I realized he almost made me not uphold the boundary. So yeah, Winnie, I'd love to know, is the issue setting the boundary or is it upholding the boundary? Bianca, I've struggled with boundaries. I'm building slowly now. Okay, this is good. And ladies, remember, one thing I would love to say is be kind, be patient with yourself. Be kind, be patient with yourself. The fact that you even know you're struggling with the boundaries, for me, it's such a big, big win. It's a big win. It's a big awareness. It's a big realization. Because at least once you know, you can start to do something actively about it. I struggle with setting and upholding at times. Yeah, Bianca. And is it with specific kinds of people? I struggle, with the ones you're struggling to set and uphold with? It will be good to know. Both friends and family, when he says, like I say, yes, so people pleasing a bit as well. I'm really trying to be a bit more, like I moved away actually a different town, take time to be, yeah. Honestly, I understand. Sometimes yeah, I understand why and how people can change environments, because honestly, it's really hard dealing with toxic, negative friends and family. And honestly, we don't choose our family. But if you feel you may need to change your environment, at the end of the day, it's really what works for you. It's wise for you to understand what your situation is like, and then decide what you're going to do with it. So like for you, Winnie, if it means changing location, if you feel that's what works for you, I mean, go for it. Yeah. So there's this quote I absolutely love. It says, you're growing, and that scares people. It frightens the shit out of them because they know if they don't step up within themselves, you will move forward without them. When this happens, you don't dare settle to suit the mold. have courage to live without one. I mean, I can't even explain this anymore. It just shows evolving, leveling up is really not for the faint-hearted, and not everybody will support your journey. And it's truly just up to you to decide exactly what it is that you want. Okay, so what's the second mistake? What's the second mistake about not cultivating, that will really impact your self-confidence? The second thing is not cultivating your womanhood. You're not born a high-value, confident woman. You must become one. And these are certain skills, certain lessons. There's a certain way you have to become one. And it truly, for me, it was such a humbling moment when I started working with my coach and mentor, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know any of these things. I don't know this. It was truly humbling. And that time I'm like, I'd been married for like 7 years and I had a great job. And I was like, oh my God, there's this whole area in my life that I was clueless about, just because I was not taught in school or in my MBA. Yeah. And it was such an eye-opening moment. So for me, I say to learn anything, especially for someone to teach you how to be a woman, it really does take humility on any ambitious woman's path. And women don't bother really even with femininity, because sometimes, and it's a constant struggle, and I see even in the online space, because we are femininity coaches. And recently there's one really a great coach I follow, and she's left the whole Baha, I think she stopped coaching on dating and relationships, and she's been doing it for like 10 years, because I'm telling you, one of the hardest things to change is somebody's mindset, especially someone who's not prepared. If you're prepared, it's something amazing. It's something so beautiful. And the other thing why women also don't cultivate their femininity, they don't even know it. Some don't understand it. And then there's a whole set of women who look at femininity as being absolutely weak because of, remember, Maua, kindly mute. Let me mute you. Okay. So remember, we are raised in a patriarchal society, which shows us that the only way to win in life and at work is by leading with your masculinity. So you see, like if it's at work, you're told to boss up. If it's in your business, be the girl boss. If it's dressing at work, what's the respectable dressing? In suits. All these dry, boring colors, black, blue, gray. Like there's so much squareness, in the work world. And you're taught that for you, if you even look at university or school, you're always there studying such complicated, difficult studies. And it's like, for you to be a doctor is amazing, but for you to be a makeup artist is not. Why? What's wrong with being a makeup artist? Women are creative by nature, but the society, the way it's being conditioned is such that the more masculine jobs that you have, the more successful you'll be. Honestly, we as women, we need to start reclaiming our femininity. We need to start loving who we are. We need to start embracing our creative energy. Remember, creative energy is feminine. Drawing, dancing, plating, beauty, all that stuff. I'm not saying don't go for your MBA. I have an MBA. I'm not saying don't go and study engineering. Please, by all means, if that's where your heart is, go ahead. But remember, you have a feminine side. You need a creative outlet to be able to balance all the masculinity that you're leading with in your area of your life. Yeah. So when you don't cultivate your womanhood, truth is, and we are saying it, you risk becoming a second-rate man. Look at all these 50-50 relationships. Who benefits? Okay, so you are a woman, you're a caregiver, you bring forth life, the home is your responsibility. You know, cooking, cleaning, ensuring everything works in the home is on you. Then on top of that, you have a crazy job. You're bringing in 50% of the bills. On top of that, you have to be a mother. On top of that, you have to be a wife. The man has only one primary role: to provide. It's not a 50-50 relationship. It's not. Automatically, you, the woman, you're ending up doing so much more than what this man is doing. And that is if you're also going to work to bring in 50% to put on the table. That is you becoming a second-rate man. It's completely different if you have a provider kind of man, okay? And then you have a purpose or a passion-based business or whatever it is that you're comfortably building, or even if it's a career, it's your choice. If you choose to wake up and go and do that job, whatever it is you want to do, it's completely different from a 50-50 relationship where you have to do it. By the time you're leading in 50-50 kind of relationships, you're operating 80% in your masculine. And remember, men at the end of the day still want a feminine woman. They don't want to come back to another square box. And masculine men are square. They want to come back to curves. And by curves, I'm not meaning literally curves. They are coming back to a light kind of energy, which you can only embody as a woman if you know how to lead with your femininity. If you don't cultivate your womanhood, you risk not enjoying the deliciousness of your feminine power. You end up struggling because most of the times you're operating in a masculine way, which honestly, ladies, has a huge impact on your health. How do you explain why fibroids is predominantly a Black woman's issue? How do you explain all this burnout with women? How do you explain all these health issues with women? I have friends who are depressed, going through burnout, fertility issues. If you really look at it, our bodies are not built to carry the same amount of stress. Because remember, men are the providers. For them, their body is built for stress. If you pack your body with the same kind of stress, your body will react. It will react. Yeah, so let's see, there's a comment here. Oh, no, it's fine, Mawa, it's fine. No problem with the noise. Okay, so when you start to embrace your femininity, you're able to learn how to navigate life with ease and grace. I am not saying it is easy. All I am saying is you're able to do things from a point of view where you're authentic to who you are as a woman. You're able to just be you, because remember, being feminine is about being authentic in your womanhood. I'm not talking about you being a delicate flower. There are so many brands of beauty for femininity. You're also able to inspire the masculine to step up, provide, and protect for you. You see, one thing I've come to realize, like even in the workspace, and I always had female bosses, yeah? Until my last role, I had a male boss. And every minute he would come and ask, Linda, are you okay? Linda, are you okay? Do you need help here? Can I assist you with this? And naturally, men want to protect. Men, that's how they are. But I remember, like, my friends would always be like, no, why are you always asking me? You don't have to ask me. I'm fine. I can do it by myself. So I had to, the conversation was, This man wants to help you. Yes, he's your boss. He's asking you, where can he assist you? But you see, we've been so conditioned in such a way we want to prove ourselves. So instead of accepting his help, you fear looking weak. So you decide, no, I don't want your help. Then you end up struggling with something which somebody else could have easily helped you with. And you see, it goes back to that whole conditioning where you want to prove yourself that you can do it too. Ladies, you don't have to prove anything. The fact that you're there, the fact that you're you, it's more than enough. Yeah. Let's see, there's a comment. Thanks, Linda. How do you unpack feminine energy? How can one transform, cultivate when in that kind of relationship or a masculine job? Okay, so let's continue the presentation. I'll actually give you ways of how you can unpack this, yeah? Okay. So there's this wonderful, wonderful client of mine. So I worked with Leslie, and she's such an amazing babe. And for her, the issues were similar, and they were around body confidence and also around just understanding what exactly is femininity. And she was so happy because after our conversations, after guidance and coaching, she really started to feel like, yes, she is enough. She's more than enough. She doesn't have to prove too much. And she understood what exactly it means to be a feminine woman and how she can thrive, especially in her career and in her friendships. Yeah, she's such a wonderful babe. So the third mistake you're making that's really affecting your self-confidence is that you're not evolving. So you're sticking with what's familiar, what's comfortable. You're sticking to that same old job. You're sticking to that same old, those same old friends, the ones you grew up with from primary school. Guys, they are familiar, yes. But one thing I know is once you start to level up, for sure, people will drop off. That's like law. What is that law that says what goes up must come down? This one is like law. It's like a leveling up law. Once you start growing, people will drop off. Okay? So you're not evolving because also you're not looking for any new information to grow. Because remember, ladies, at the end of the day, you must want to grow. Nobody can do the whole personal growth journey for yourself. Yeah. The other reason why you're not evolving is because you're not investing in yourself. Okay. You have to invest in yourself. That's whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's effort, whether it's energy, there has to be an energetic exchange for you to be able to evolve. So this one is such a big one because one of the biggest reasons why you're not evolving is because of fear. Oh, fear is a big one. Fear is such a big one. And even when people started saying, oh, Linda, you've changed, or you're changing, you don't really want to tell them what you're doing. But deep down, I really feared being judged. Yeah. That fear really holds us back. Or you start, you start to hear these little voices that are speaking. And most of the time, if you listen to those voices inside, they're not your voice. If you want to pick a certain kind of shoe, maybe you decide you want to change how you look and you want to go for this like really nice pair of palms, but in your mind, you're like, Bianca, why are you wearing that kind of shoe? Wouldn't it make you look like XYZ? What are you trying to prove? There are those voices that are always in your head. Remember, those voices are not yours. Those voices are voices that you picked up from, along your life's journey. And those voices are what will keep you stuck. So instead of going ahead and buying that dress, you're like, no, I won't buy that dress. Let me just leave it. It's safer for me to go back to to how I've always used to be, how people have used to seeing me. And also because secretly, honestly, sometimes this is also a big one. You don't believe that you can have the life you actually want. That is a big one. And this one works amazingly with relationships with men. You say, oh, I want this kind of guy. He has a good job, he lives in a good place. Verbally, you will say, but deep down, you're scared. Your dominant feeling is you're scared. You're scared because you actually don't believe you're worthy of such a man. You're scared because you don't really believe that such a man would want you. You're scared because you truly don't believe that you can even capture the attention of such a man. Verbally, you will say, oh, I want to provide a man. But internally, you'll be self-sabotaging yourself because of how you're thinking. And all these three reasons, they keep you stuck. So what happens if you choose not to evolve? You keep having the same mediocre experiences. You keep going back to the same nonsense guys who are familiar to you, who play around with you and waste your time because you're familiar. Because you're familiar with that kind of treatment, so you stay with them. Because remember, this kind of guy will require a different version of you. And you feel, no, it's safe and let me stay stuck. You waste a lot of opportunities for money because remember, whether you're in business or in your career, you have to show up. There's that saying which sounds like, what do they say? Dress for your next job, something like that, which means you're always supposed to be expanding. So if you stay that same level where you are mentally, emotionally, physically, opportunities will pass you up. So you could be skilled, but you're not skilled in these other social skills that will help you develop your charisma, magnetism, your charm, so that you can attract better things and experiences you in your life. And anyway, if they come to you, you don't feel confident enough, so you'll self-sabotage. You'll be like, oh, no, I will not apply for that job. It's too big for me. Oh, and meanwhile, you're qualified. Or I'll not ask for that raise because, oh, you don't believe you're worthy. Yeah. So you see how self-sabotage comes in. It's so subtle and it's so subconscious, but it has such a big impact. And then the other thing which I honestly think, and they say the grave, there's this wonderful saying I like, the place with the greatest potential is the grave. When I had that saying, I was like, oh my God, yeah. Which means so many people die with all their potential. That's why the grave is the place with the greatest potential. So if you choose not to evolve, you will do everything half-heartedly because you're too scared to go after what you desire. And what's the point of living a juicy, yummy life? What's the point? What's the point? Because remember, at the end of the day, we are here to expand, not to contract. Yeah. So are you guys with me? Can you drop me an emoji? Okay. So this is Winnie. And she's also a really amazing babe, great career woman. And we worked together for, was it 4 or 5 weeks? And for her, same thing. And I noticed that it's so interesting that career women are really struggling with this whole balancing feminine and masculine energies, and especially how it impacts their careers and their business. So we had such a good time, and for her, what she really came out of her is she was able to start embracing her own authentic uniqueness as a woman. Yeah. And that's Winnie. So at this point, you're wondering, I think this is what you're asking. You're wondering, okay, Linda, I know what I need to stop doing. So what should I do instead? So I've developed a 3-step blueprint that will help you to recreate your dream self so you can magnetize an epic life that you love. And this is a very simple framework that I used on myself and on my clients that will help you level up using your femininity. Yeah. So the 3-step framework is built on 3 things: clarifying, packaging, and then attracting. Clarifying, the first step, which is super important, is your mindset. Having a reality check on your mindset and what exactly it is that's keeping you stuck and playing small. Clarifying means understanding where your negative programming is coming from. It's really important to clarify because you start to pinpoint areas you're struggling with. Because remember, it goes back to being self-aware. Once you become aware, you start to go deeper and you start to clarify and you start to, completely understand what's holding you back. That way, it will make it so much easier for you to start changing how you view yourself. Self-identity is important. It's everything. How you view yourself, because it impacts how people receive you and how you receive your life. Okay. Guys, this thing. Okay. And it's so important because finally you can start to understand who you truly are. Okay. So why, if you think about it, why do you think you've never taken time to clarify? Because guys, self-reflection is hard and it's scary. That's just the truth. Honestly, inner work takes work. Having to sit down and really confront the dark pasts, your dark fears, and the dark insecurities, it takes work and it's scary. And honestly, because you're going back to uncover areas that you'd rather just, hide away. 90% of people really, they just throw all that stuff away in the dustbin and they continue living their life. It's easier to do your hair, nails, makeup, nails, all that stuff than to go inside and look at some of the dark past that you need to make peace with so that you can move on. Okay, so once you've clarified, now it's time to package yourself. It means understanding your personal brand of beauty. It also means understanding who you are as a feminine woman, and also working on your physical image, your hair, your makeup, your skin. Remember, it makes sense once you've looked at your negative programming from a mindset point of view, you've done emotional work, you've done inner work. Now you start to package yourself, because remember, you love and you embrace yourself, and you're now packaging yourself. And ladies, it's important to look good because you have to own who you truly are. And it's also a way of gaining self-confidence. I'm actually getting certified as an image consultant in the next few weeks. And it blew my mind just to understand the different types of beauty. There's a wide range of beauty. There's glamorous beauty, which I love. That's where I am. There's retro beauty. There's vintage beauty. There's bohemian style of beauty. There's athletic style of beauty. There's a wide range of beauty. And I think for me, what really stood out from just the whole certification for becoming an image consultant is you have to own who you authentically are. Once you own who you are, then you can be able to dress in a way that's authentic to you, because there's a wide range of beauty standards. So sometimes when I go on YouTube and I see all these femininity pages and they're only addressing one specific mold of beauty, it's very limiting. It's very, very limiting. So why don't women dress beautifully? Some of it is they're too shy. Honestly, and shyness means there are some elements of your personality that you're yet to embrace. Others simply don't know how to do it. Like for me, I've been blown away by what I've learned when it comes to styles of clothes, when it comes to colors, how to combine, when it comes to makeup. There is so much that you can do with what you already have to be able to develop your signature style. There's your physical grooming. All that comes into play when it comes to packaging yourself. And honestly, there are some women who are just plain old lazy, because honestly, looking good inside out takes work. And remember, when you're packaging yourself, it's also about your wellness. So what kind of healthy lifestyle are you living? Because remember, beauty is also skin deep. I love this quote, and it says, every day is an opportunity to meet someone who can change your life. So always look your finest. Always do your best to look your finest. Whether you feel you look your best in jeans and a top and a nice bun, just, wherever you go, this is something I'm learning to live by. I actually live by this. Always look your finest. There are some basics that you should not leave your house without if you want to level up. Okay. And then the third step, once you've clarified, you've packaged yourself, now you attract. That's around developing your magnetic presence, your charm, your charisma, your confidence. They all fit into this. And I hope you're seeing how all this build up on each other. It's important to attract. When you attract, it means now you're showing up as the beautiful woman that you are in your best version of yourself. You stop becoming a secret, like you no longer are hiding. You're able to stand in your glow and you show up. And you start to attract opportunities and people that will come up to you. So whether it's in your work, whether it's in your passion, whether it's in your purpose, you're doing it from a place where it's authentic to you. When you're ready to attract, you step out. Remember, opportunities come to people who show up. It takes a lot of courage to show up, even, any given point in time, but that's the only way you become visible. You own who you are. And it's really very fulfilling once you start to truly own who you are and you show up, because now you're living life at your own terms, the way you desire to live. Whether you want to be a movie star, whether you want to be a writer, whether you are in whatever it is that you're doing it to your best of your ability with so much love and joy in your heart. Most women don't want to show up. They don't want to be attractive because sometimes you feel like it's already too late to level up. It's never too late. I started my level up journey past 35. Yeah, it's never too late. It never is too late. It's never, never, ever too late. That's one thing I've learned. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, no, maybe I'm in my 30s already, no. It's never too late to start, something new in your life. And then also there's the whole negativity. People are scared that, they'll be received negatively. Yes, honestly, it will come with the territory, but the difference now will be you will start to develop a mindset where you're not paying too much attention to the negativity. You stay focused on where you're going with your path. Others, honestly, it's also easier to just blend in. And it's also in simple things, like if you're in a meeting, you just blend in with everybody. You never talk, you never say anything. If you're with your friends and family, you're the fly on the wall, always listening. And sometimes this whole introverted thing, are you really introverted or are you scared? That's a question sometimes I ask when somebody comes tell me, oh, I'm shy, I'm introverted. Are you scared or are you really introverted? Because we are naturally born to speak up, to express, and to communicate, because we have something God-given within us to speak and say. So what have we learned so far? Guys, are you still here with me? Drop an emoji. Are we still here with me? Somebody drop an emoji. Yeah, okay. Okay, yes, Maua, thank you. So what have we learned so far? This stuff really excites me. So we've learned that, the top 3 mistakes when it comes to your feminine confidence, what you need to do instead with the 3-step method, and how you can start leveling up right now. Thanks, Martha. So you're here today because you're ready to become a confident feminine woman. You're ready to develop your magnetic presence, and you have dreams and plans, and you're absolutely ready to make a change, especially now that we are walking into 2022. Nothing I've shared with you ladies is theory. These are things that myself and my clients have done to level up. Honestly, I don't have like any superpowers. I just have a system that works. And if I can do this at my age, you too, trust you me, you can. So you have 2 options. Option 1, continue to work on your own. Google all the, everything you can Google, watch all the YouTubes, overdose on all the podcasts, and hopefully figure out a strategy eventually. I remember when I started my whole level up journey, that is where I was, and I was completely overwhelmed because there's so much information. And what you realize sometimes is you actually need a plan. Or the second option is to fast track your results with a guide who will walk with you and hold you accountable along the way, together with a proven plan customized just for you. Okay? So if you choose to walk with someone with you, I want to introduce you to Recreate Your Dream Self group coaching program. So this is, I'm so passionate about this. And this is an intimate life coaching program designed to help ambitious women with low self-esteem regain their self-worth so they can completely recreate themselves in 6 weeks. So in this program, I will teach you how ways you're sabotaging yourself unconsciously, and this is so important to know. I will teach you how to evolve from an average to a high quality worthy woman, how to transform your whole life by doing emotional healing so you can let go of your past and move forward, how to cultivate your magnetic presence so you can become irresistible, how to discover your personal brand of beauty so you can appear more stylish in your authentic self, and how to be confident and to fully embrace your personal power as a feminine woman. If you're excited with this, guys, please drop emojis on the chat box and tell me, yes, Linda, I'm super excited. So I've spent honestly countless I can't. I'll spend so much looking for the easiest way to level up, working with coaches and mentors and all this. And the regular price of this program, I would have priced it at $880. But for this week only, this program is available for $497. If you book a call by today, I have very limited slots available for this call. And you might be wondering, Linda, so what is this call about? It's really a free assessment call with me. And in this call, it's really just for you and I to sit down, and so I can really understand where exactly you are. And I'll also be able to gauge if you're really serious about your personal evolution, so that we don't waste each other's time. And I will also be able to identify the gaps in your level up journey and come up with a plan. This call is absolutely free. And once I realize, or we realize, that we are a good fit, then I can enroll you into the group program. This is a very exclusive program. I'm being very selective with the women I want to work with. I only want to work with women who truly desire the best life for themselves right now. Okay, so this call is really, we'll talk about your journey, we'll talk about your plans, and I will give you an honest assessment. If I feel we are a good fit, then I will let you go to the next step and pay for the group coaching. But if I feel maybe we may not be a good fit, hey, there will be no pressure. At least I will be able to give you my honest assessment in terms of where I feel that you are. And on this call, at least, like I just said, even if you are not a good fit for the program, you will walk away with a solid action plan from me. But remember, ladies, this is only for women who are serious, because I have very limited slots available. Okay, and it's on a first come, first serve basis. And if you by any chance find that the slots are gone, you could always send me a DM on Afrofeminine News. And right now, let me drop the link so that you can book your call. Here's the link to the call. If you can see it. Yeah, and I'm super excited about it. And yeah, so that's it, ladies. So please feel free. I'll stop sharing, and I'll stop the recording. Where's the, I'll stop.